الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما أما بعد فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله وخير الهدى هدى محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. As we were extracting the benefits from Surah Al-Kahf for these past 3 weeks, as we do not have time to get the tafsir for the whole surah of this surah that's Mubarakah, but if one was to read it on Yawm al-Jumu'ah, as we know that comes in the authentic hadith of the Messenger of Allah, that one will have that light from this week to the next, which is a tremendous benefit that if one wants to take advantage of and take the initiative to increase his level with Allah Ta'ala to read this tremendous surah, not just reading it by recitation, but also likewise contemplating in its tremendous benefits that's extracted, not only benefits but treasures that are utilized in order to increase one's iman and keep his heart firm upon what is correct. You'll find, ya ma'ashal ikhwa, as we talked about in Surah Al-Kahf, we said that the first part was talking about the companions of the cave who actualized and purified their monotheism and their worship of Allah Ta'ala. Now let's skip to the end part of the surah. You'll find it in the story of what took place with Musa and also who accompanied along with him in his travel, which is another story that has tremendous benefits. There are too many to be counted and enumerated. Benefits that can be extracted from that story. As so many adab and so many benefits, whether pertaining to the foundation of the religion, or pertaining to adab, or pertaining to mannerism and etiquette and proper behavior, for knowledge and people of knowledge, and for teachers and those who are the students. That's also extracted from the story what took place between Musa and Khadir, or you can say Khidr. You'll find also from the story which is extracted from it from teaching us the benefits of سر الله ألا وهو قدر الله تبارك وتعالى وقضاؤه لأنه سر الله في خلقه ولا يطلع على أسرار الرب تبارك وتعالى إلا هلك ومن سره قضاؤه وقدره. فيا معاش الإخوة, for you'll find from the tremendous benefits of this story likewise is the secrets of Allah. What are the secrets of Allah? Meaning His divine decree and His destiny. And that door Allah has shut to the creation. No one tries to open that door except he'll be destroyed. For we know that the divine decree and the destiny of Allah, what He is destined for His creation, of what some of us perceive in our minds between ourselves as evil, but with Allah Ta'ala, it's all good. You'll find in this story that teaches us of what takes place in our lives individually, of things we don't understand in that particular moment in our lives, things that probably that we loved and we adored and we lost it, whether it be from money, or whether it be from loved ones, or whether it be from people who we loved, or whether it be from children that we lost at a young age, or maybe a woman might have had a child that she desperately wanted to have, or really she had a desire to have, and she had a miscarriage. Maybe she had more than one miscarriage. Maybe her child might have died at an early stage or the infant stage. Maybe the child died. All these are things that takes place with all of us, and it happens to all of us. But we do not know behind it is the wisdom in which Allah Ta'ala clearly shows in this story. As the first part you'll find, Ya ma'ashal ikhwa, Allah Ta'ala talked about what happened with Musa and the youth that accompanied him in his travel. And upon which is correct, you'll find the one who accompanied Musa was Yusha ibn Nun. You'll find the story where it goes on to say, as Allah Ta'ala says in his book, فقال أرأيت إذ أوينا إلى الصخرة فإني نسيت الحوت وما أنسانيه إلا الشيطان أن أذكره فاتخذ سبيله في البحر عجبا قال ذلك كنا نبغ فارتد على آثارهما قصصا فوجدا عبدا من عبادنا آتيناه رحمة من عندنا وعلمناه من لدنا علما قال له موسى هل أتبعك على أن تعلمني مما علمت رشدا قال إنك لن تستطيع معي صبرا وكيف تصبر على ما لم تحط به خبرا قال ستجدني إن شاء الله صابرا ولا أعصي لك أمرا فإن اتبعتني فلا تسألني عن شيء حتى أحدث لك منه ذكرا فانطلقا حتى إذا ركبا في السفينة خرقها قال أخرقتها لتغرق أهلها لقد جئت شيئا إمرا قال ألم أقل إنك لن تستطيع معي صبرا قال لا تؤاخذني بما نسيت ولا ترهقني من أمري عسرا فانطلقا حتى إذا لقيا غلاما فقتله قال أقتلت نفسا زكية بغير نفس لقد جئت شيئا نكرا قال ألم أقل لك إنك لن تستطيع معي صبرا قال إن سألتك عن شيء بعدها فلا تصاحبني قد بلغت من لدني عذرا. Start from the beginning of the story. As you'll find in the beginning of the story what happened with Musa, and like we said, Yusha ibn Nun accompanied Musa in this tremendous travel. The travel which we know, which comes in Sahih al-Bukhari. Allah Ta'ala had admonished Musa when he was asked by Bani Israel, who is the most knowledgeable of the people? Meaning of regards to Allah Ta'ala, who's the most knowledgeable? Musa said, I am. Until Allah Ta'ala had what? Admonished him and revealed to him there's someone that has some knowledge in you, more in a particular matter. Until Musa was embarked upon to look for this individual. And we know that from the signs that Allah had told Musa, when you see your fish that it has and when it leaves out, you will see that it will take a path in the ocean and it will leave a trace for you to follow. Until when they embarked upon the travel. And when they had become weary and exhausted from their travel, as we know, the fish had left out and started what? Went in the sea. In an astonishing and in a bewildering way. Until when Musa had woke up, Yusha said to Musa, he said, for verily the fish had what? Had left out and it started embark upon its travel in the ocean. Until you will find in the story what it said. He says, ذَلِكَ كُنَّا نَبْغ. He said, for verily now that the fish, when it left out, that was the sign we were waiting for. But Yusha had said, verily I forgot. And you find that the fish had took its way in the sea, leaving a trace so we can follow it. Musa said, that's the sign we've been waiting for. Until when they embarked upon the path, they came back. And then they seen the servant from the servants of Allah named Khadir. Or you can say Khadir. For now you will find, Ya Ma'ashal Ikhwa, as the story says, when Khadir was wrapped in that shroud and in the manner in which he stood out, he said, فَوَجَدَ عَبْدًا مِنْ عِبَادِنَا آتَيْنَاهُ رَحْمَةً مِنْ عِنْدِنَا وَعَلَّمْنَا مِنْ لَدُنَّا عِلْمًا. He says, you'll find that we found a slave of ours, or a servant of ours, as Allah Ta'ala says. He says, he found a servant from our servants. We bestowed upon him mercy. And we taught from us a particular knowledge. Knowledge that Musa did not have of a certain affair. Musa had came to Khidr and mentioned and asked him. Verily, he says, فَقَالَ لَهُ مُوسَى هَلْ أَتَّبِعُكَ عَلَىٰ أَن تُعَلِّمَنِي مِمَّا عُلِّمْتَ رُشْدًا. He says, now can I not follow you? That you teach me of a knowledge of which you've been taught of guidance. And Khidr said to him, you will not be able to remain patient. Meaning you're going to embark upon seeing some very bewildering, amazing things. Until even Khidr had mentioned and said to him likewise. He says, how can you now understand for something you will not be able to comprehend or something you will not be able to encompass in khubra, in what you're about to see and as far as in your awareness? Meaning that you're going to be what? Amazed. To the point where you even might be what? Be angry with some of the things that's going to take place. Keep in mind, ya ma'ashal ikhwa, us as human beings on this everyday lives, let's apply this to how this affects our daily lives. Because this is what a true teacher does. He takes the benefits, then he ties it into what people are facing today. So can it have an impact and effect on their lives daily? Keep in mind that what takes place in our lives in a particular time, where we think that it is something evil, and in our minds we can't understand it, until you'll find that certain times after a long period has elapsed, you'll start to understand, subhanAllah, that affair was not for me. And if I'd embarked upon that, I could have been like that individual. I would have been destroyed like him. Or I would have been destroyed like her. That could have been me. That could have been my what? My abode. And I know a lot of us in our lives have seen this. How many of us have embarked upon an affair and then we didn't understand that Allah Ta'ala had preordained and destined that affair was not for you. Whether it be in marriage, whether it be in a woman, or whether it be in a man that you loved. Or maybe your sister, you became pregnant and lost a child. Or maybe for a long period of time you were not able to become pregnant. Listen to this story, because it's teaching us from the sirrullah, from the secrets of Allah that Allah knows, and the infinite knowledge and complete vast knowledge of Allah that He possesses, tabaraka wa ta'ala, in which our minds cannot fathom or comprehend, nor can it encompass in totality. That's what we say, ya ma'ashal ikhwa, in this story. When he embarked upon it, he says, how can you now encompass of what you were not able to fully attain in awareness and in knowledge? He says, verily you will find me what? Patient, inshallah. And I will not disobey your command. Then it mentions on in the ayah, he says, if you used to follow me, فَإِنِ اتَّبَعْتَنِي فَلَا تَسْأَلْنِي عَنْ شَيْءٍ حَتَّى أُحْدِثَ لَكَ مِنْهُ ذِكْرًا. If I was to ask you something, do not ask me anything until the right time is for me to ask you, and I will what? Request for you some type of mention about it. So they set out and embarked upon this journey. He says, until they came upon a boat. When they had boarded the boat, you'll find that from the tafsir as Ibn Kathir and other than them mentioned, that he said that numerous boats passed by Musa and Khidr, boats that were better, boats that were in a better condition, boats that were in its excellence as far as what? As far as in its condition. They passed by until there was one boat particularly. That boat was filled with people who are poor, people who are impoverished. And Khidr had picked that boat specifically. Not only did he pick that boat, but those people who was in a state of poverty let Musa and Khidr on the boat without any type of payment. So they were very courteous to them, and they were very nice to them. They boarded the boat, Musa and Khidr. They set out. Keep in mind that these people were poor. Boats had passed by them that were better and better condition, that were in a proper state. And despite of that, Khidr had set out for a boat that was filled with people who were impoverished, people who were poor, and people also likewise that were kind and courteous to them. Let them on a boat without any payment. So when they sailed out in the boat, Khidr had did something very strange, where he damaged the boat. Damaged the boat filled with impoverished people who were poor, didn't have much, and who were kind and courteous to them and gentle and kind to them. Pierced the boat until he damaged it. And some of the tafsir said it looked like the boat was about to sink. But then Khidr had patched it, but it was damaged to the point where it was not able to to sail. So now the boat was in this type of state where it was damaged, until Musa had become astonished and amazed at what he did. Then Musa said to him, he says, أَخَرَقَتَهَا لِتُغْرِقَ أَهْلَهَا لَقَدْ جِئْتَ شَيْءٍ إِمْرًا قَالَ أَلَمْ أَقُلْ إِنَّكَ لَن تَسْتَطِيعَ مَعِيَ صَبْرًا. Until Musa had mentioned, Musa had said to Khidr, admonishing him, reprimanding him. He says, you damaged the boat in order to what? In order to sink its people? Verily you have done a deplorable, an awful, evil thing. How could you do this to these people who are poor? How could you do this to these people who are impoverished? How could you do this to these people who let us on the boat for free? How can you do this to them? They didn't do anything. All the other boats we could have mounted, you wanted to get on this boat and you wanted to now damage their boat to the point as if it was about to sink. Then Khidr had said to him, then I not to say to you that you will not be able to be patient with me. Keep in mind, ya ma'ashal ikhwa, what takes place in our lives. How many times do we have things that take place? We do not understand of what we perceive as evil. Keep in mind how many of us have the questions. Why did Allah allow those innocent people to die in those certain places? Innocent people to be what? Innocent people to now be dealt with in this manner where something had what? Destroyed their homes. Why is it that evil people always have longevity in their lives and it seems like they always get over and get what they want? When people who are righteous, it seems that they have short-longevity or they die at an early stage in their life. Or they go through all these calamities and all these rough affairs and all these different difficulties in their life takes place and they're being afflicted with. Why is this? Why does it seem like this is always the case? Righteous people always get the short end of the stick. And these people that are always evil seem like they're always getting in their way. Why is it now I pray my 5 prayers. Why did I keep having these miscarriages? Why is it now? Why did my baby die? Did I pray my 5? I do what I was supposed to do. My baby died when it was an infant. Why is it that I tried to marry numerous women and it seemed like I just can't get what I want? These numerous women, every time I marry one, it just seems like it's just the same thing. Or women, vice versa. Why is it that I was good to this man who I treated very, very well? I did everything I could to do that was correct. I dealt with him in a good manner. He still, as you want to say, he treated me unfairly. He oppressed me. These are the questions. This is the benefit of this story right here. So put your man in this position. Musa now what? Thought it was oppression. How could you do this to these innocent people? How could you now cause these people who are indigent, people who did not have much, people who are courteous to us, and you dealt with them in this manner? You treated them like this? You did what? You now damaged their boat? They didn't even have much. What did Khidr say to him? Did I not say you will not be able to be patient with me? Then Musa, as you know, اعتذر موسى بسبب النسيان فقال له لا تؤاخذني بما نسيت ولا ترهقني من أمري عسرا. Do not hold me accountable for what I forgot. He says, and do not cover me in my affair of any difficulty. Meaning, don't hold me in account for what I forgot. Meaning, just overlook it this time. I forgot about it. Until they set out again. Khidr had did something more worse than the first affair. He says, حتى إذا لقي غلاما فقتله قال أقتلت نفسا زكية بغير نفس لقد جئت شيئا نكرا قال ألم أقل لك إنك لن تستطيع معي صبرا. Until Khidr had now did something worse than the first. He says until they had met a child who was young. They met a child. And when they met the child, you'll find in Khidr that he said that he came up to him. To the child, killed him. Of course, we know Musa was even more astonished and more surprised and amazed at what he did. He said, you killed an innocent soul, a child that's young, child that has no sin that he committed, child that did not commit any murder, and you kill him like this? Verily, you have done a deplorable evil thing. Then Khidr said once again to him, didn't I tell you will not be able to be patient with me? Until Musa had mentioned and said again, فَإِن سَأَلْتُكَ عَنْ شَيْءٍ بَعْتَهَا فَلَا تُصَاحِبْنِي قَدْ بَلَغْتَ مِن لَدُنِّي عُذْرًا. For verily, if I was to ask you anything after this, do not be my companion anymore. Verily, you have reached with me and exhausted all excuses. Walhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. الحمد لله وحده والصلاة والسلام على من لا نبي بعده وعلى آله وصحبه ومن تمسك بسنته إلى يوم الدين وسلم تسليما كثيرا أما بعد. Now, the third thing that happened in the story. Like we said, every one of us put ourselves in these predicaments, in these situations, in these scenarios, because everyone in this room has faced something in their life like this. Whether it be in an aspect of your religion, or whether it be something personal in your life. Why did I have to be born out of a house where I had no father? Why did I have to come from a background where my mother was on drugs? Why did I have to come from a background where my father was abusive, committing domestic violence and seeing it right in front of me? Connect the dots with this story. Why is it that I had to be incarcerated? And I had to be done and dealt with in this manner. Rather, I was oppressed. Why? I'm sure everyone in this room can relate. A lot. Why is it that our village was taken over? Why is it that the Houthiyyin came and destroyed our land? So many scenarios that we can relate. And Allah Ta'ala lays down the haqq in this particular matter to show how our knowledge is incomplete. Not only that, going back to the story what happened with Khidr and Musa at the beginning of the story, before they set out to the other scenarios that took place, and this is the last one we'll talk about. But before that, Khidr said something of a tremendous benefit to Musa, which also comes in the Sahih, and this is in the Bukhari, where he said when this hudhud or this woodpecker had landed at the end of the boat. And he said that it was naqara fil bahr naqratain or nuqratain. He says that the woodpecker had pecked its beak in the ocean twice. Until Khidr said to Musa, he says, my knowledge, Musa, and your knowledge in comparison to the knowledge of Allah is no more or less than how this woodpecker stuck its beak in the ocean and plucked it. That's our knowledge compared to the vast, complete knowledge of Allah. That's the little bit of knowledge that we possess. The little, small, minute knowledge that the human being possesses in comparison to the vast, complete knowledge of Allah. How can you think you now can now perceive that something you perceived as evil, you can now encompass it in your knowledge, in your awareness? Allah knows why you were not able to have that baby and you had a miscarriage twice. Allah knows why that child died in the stage that when he was an infant. Allah may save you from something that was more disgraceful, as it comes in the story. Saving you from something that you don't perceive. Saving you and giving you awareness to something better that He wants to give you. And preparing you for it. But you don't see it coming. Because all of us have our focus on in front of us on what takes place, and it's here and now. Not perceiving of what you see, and I'm sure that everyone in this room, when we missed out on some type of benefit or what we thought would benefit us at a particular time in our lives, years later you seen like, wow, if I would have did that, I would have probably been messed up. That Allah saved you from something. Listen, it goes on to say, he says, فَانْطَلَقَ حَتَّى إِذَا أَتَيَا قَرْيَةٍ اسْتَطْعَمَا أَهْلَهَا فَأَبَوْا أَنْ يُضَيِّفُوهُمَا فَوَجَدَا جِدَارًا يُرِيدُ أَنْ يَنْقَضَّ فَأَقَامَهُ قَالَ لَوْ شِئْتَ لَاتَّخَذْتَ عَلَيْهِ أَجْرًا قَالَ هَذَا فِرَاقُ بَيْنِي وَبَيْنِكَ سأنبئك بتأويل ما لم تستطع عليه صبرا. أما السفينة فكانت لمساكين يعملون في البحر فأردت أن أعيبها وكان وراءهم ملك يأخذ كل سفينة غصبا. وفي قراءة لابن عباس وكان أمامهم ملك يأخذ كل سفينة صالحة غصبا. It's in one narrative, one ayah. We're going to talk about the recitations because this shows the benefits of knowledge. Learning one recitation which you recite every day on Friday, there's another recitation by Ibn Abbas. And the other recitation of the Quran will give you other benefits. So listen to this as he goes on to say. The last scenario that they embarked upon, or adventure that they embarked upon. He says, until they came to what? A people of a village. Him and Khadir. And they sought from them some type of sustenance and food. And to take them in as their guests and be hospitable to them. And they refused. Until you'll find that Musa and Khadir found a wall. They said that it was in a manner that it was what? Defective. That it was wobbling. And Musa wanted to utilize it as some type of form of work to fix it. So in exchange, they can attain some type of money to get their sustenance for their travel. Because he didn't have any. Because they did not want to take them as their guests and give them their haqq as a daif. Or give them their what? Give them their rights as a guest. Instead of them now allowing the wall to collapse and utilizing it so they can now attain some type of money. The wall was about to fall. Khidr propped it back up straight. And did not allow it to be what? Damaged. And some narration says he built it back up until the point they were not able to utilize it. So they could not utilize it now to attain money to buy their sustenance for their travel. Until Musa then admonished him again. If you could have, we could have utilized that to now attain some money. And then the last thing of Khidr that he said, this is our departure between me and you. Now I'm going to give you the interpretation of what you was not able to be patient with. Keep in mind, that's us. Things in our particular lives we cannot understand, that we weren't able to be patient with. Always angry, always upset. Why is Allah allowing this to happen? What did I do? What did I do? Why did Allah allow those innocent people to die? Why is it that all these people that are upright people always get the short end of the stick? Why is it that they die in an early stage in their life? Why is all these evil people seem like they always get in their way? To the end of it, to the end of it, to the end of it, to the end of it. And Allah establishes and refutes this falsehood. Nullifies it. And establishes the haqq. Firstly, based upon the hadith that we said, showing the vast knowledge of Allah in comparison to our knowledge. And how minute and small as a minute, little, small amount of knowledge we've been given, as we know Allah Ta'ala says in his book, وَمَا أُوتِيتُ مِنَ الْعِلْمِ إِلَّا قَلِيلًا. You have not been given of knowledge except a little. Then Allah Ta'ala now, based upon we taught Khidr and revealed to him, now I'm going to give you the interpretation that you was not able to be what? Patient with. That which you perceive, Musa, is evil. Me oppressing those people who were poor. Those people that didn't have much. Those people who let us on for free. Treated us kindly. He says, I had now damaged their boat. I damaged their boat for a reason. There's another recitation on Ibn Abbas. If you go up to the tafsir. Ibn Abbas used to recite this ayat like this. He said, وَكَانَ أَمَامَهُمْ مَلِكٌ يَأْخُذُ كُلَّ سَفِينَةٍ صَالِحَةٍ غَصْبًا. That's a recitation of Ibn Abbas, radiyallahu anhu. He says there was in front of them a king. Of what we will understand in these days is somewhat of like pirates. That every time they seen a boat that was in a beautiful state, they would plunder it. They would take its belongings and they would kill its people. So now all those different boats that passed by, you notice that we said Khidr had what? All those boats that were better. All those boats that was in a state that was way, way better than the state they boarded. That was one of the reasons. He picked that one specifically. Because every boat that was in an excellent state, that particular king will board it and plunder it and loot it and steal and oppress its people to the point where it says he will even kill them. So I damaged the boat because if the king or that pirate would see them and see that it was damaged, he would leave them alone, pass by them. So what Musa had thought was something evil, behind it was a greater what? Benefit. And I'll stop here. And I will talk about the other fawaid next week, inshallah. So we'll come now, yes, and I'll leave you in a state of suspense. So you come back next week, and now, because there's about maybe 80 benefits of this story. Talking about the qadr, talking about how having respect and reverence and magnification for Allah by using certain words, as we'll explain next week. And the last thing before I leave off, and I want to say this to everyone, because I know everyone is listening. And it's been brought to my attention that a few people in the community were offended by a statement I made in the khutbah on Friday, November the 2nd, 2018, at MasjidArRazzaaq in Delaware. I'd like to make a clarification on Friday, November the 9th. Friday, November the 9th, 2018, during the khutbah. I also would like to now take the advantage of the initiative to make myself clear to the people. The administration, the Imam of MasjidArRazzaaq, or MasjidArRazzaaq, who I am, AbdurRazzaaq. MasjidArRazzaaq has always have a positive relationship with our brothers and sisters in Chester at Masjid Fajr. We appreciate their support and offer our support to them. As everyone knows, I was just there last month helping them making a what, everyone? Fundraiser. Right or wrong? Yes, I was there. We appreciate the support and offer our support to them. Alhamdulillah, I was able to participate in a fundraiser for Masjid Fajr in October, which was successful, as well as working with our brothers diligently to cultivate communities and bring them together upon Salafiyah. Make no mistake, and I want everyone to hear this clearly. Make no mistake, there is no animosity or discord between the two masajid. So everyone heard me clearly, even those online, even those in the khutbah. So nothing can be twisted, or they go to certain people, yo, who's the intended? Brothers and sisters, I'm a man just like you, a brother. No one brought it to my attention, no one, except the brothers in administration. Brothers, I am approachable. Just because I speak a little bit with more sternness and assertiveness in my khutbah does not mean I'm not approachable as a man. I have to be assertive in the khutbah because that's the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. The sunnah of the Messenger of Allah, he was very assertive in his khutbah. Until says at Bukhari, حتى إذا خطب النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم في الناس اشتد غضبه واحمر وجهه وعلى صوته كأنه منذر جيش صبحكم ومساكم. That's a hadith, it's in Bukhari. He said the Messenger of Allah gave a sermon. He became very angry. His face became red. And he started to raise his voice. So now if I give a khutbah like this, yeah, brothers and sisters, fear Allah. Is that agreeing with the sunnah? As if the Messenger of Allah was a warning of someone coming to what? Overtake them. Telling that the enemy is coming either in the morning or the evening. How do you think that a person that warns the people is supposed to talk or address the people? How is he supposed to speak? Kindly, hi, how you doing, everyone? I want everyone to just listen to those benefits for today. Or he used to raise his voice like this. This does not mean that I'm not approachable, brothers and sisters. But the sisters gave me advice before the brothers. The sisters did. Before the men, the sisters wrote a letter to me, AbdurRazzaaq, here, one of the children gave it to me. The sisters. Sad, isn't it? Our sisters, even though the men are supposed to come up to me, AbdurRazzaaq, did you mean such and such? Come up. Brothers, I'm approachable. And like I said, everything on top of that, I want the communities I'm trying to unite them upon was correct. Unite them upon Salafiyah, and I want everyone to be benefit as far as giving da'wah properly. I'm trying to disseminate it properly. I'm not just trying to unify numbers. It's just numbers and that's it. Making sure that my da'wah is correct so it can be blessed. Because I want to bless da'wah, even if it's a little bit of people. I don't care about the quality, the quantity of the people. Make sure I'm disseminating the correct knowledge so the da'wah can be blessed. Even if it's a couple of people that take heed. So that was one clarification. I ask Allah to bring with ta'ala to give us all tawfiq. هذا وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك وأشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين وأقيم الصلاة.